Welcome back to another exciting, effective living conversation. I'm your host, Ricardo Miller, and tonight we're going to dive into a different approach
Mm,
to our effective living message. I know that this space, this platform, these live sessions are built around triggering truths and thoughts and ideas to help people change their lives to the point where they believe they should be, or get them on the journey of becoming who they need to be. And so tonight we're going to dive into something that's really good. Remember this, guys. You are responsible for the life you create. If you don't like where you are, you can make some adjustments. Now, that's going to demand you push past some fear. That's going to move you out of your comfort zone. That's going to demand you really, really do what maybe you've never done before. If you have not gotten my book, Effective Living, you could be missing out on 47 years of information gathered in a book that you can learn all in a weekend. You can decide in 1 week to read this book, and I mean, literally, it changes your life forever. Here's what I tell people: a book is a collective thought patterns or beliefs of a person's life and ideas that they believe that they put in these pages, and you can get it and read it for a week, and it could be something they learn in 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, 50 years. And so I'm excited about this. A lot of people are talking about this book, and it's coming out in Audible real soon. And so do me a favor, get the book, go to the website. If you go to the website and order the book tonight, I'll sign it, and then I will put in a shirt with the book. Look at that.
oh, wow.
Oh, come on now. A shirt with the book. Now, let me tell you something. The book is $24.95, and the shirt is $24.95. Now, listen, guys. Come on, come on, come on. Is that not doing life right with giving you a deal? And so, Help Effective Living LLC do what it does. The way we are able to do what we do is by faithful partners and friends like you supporting the platform. And so tonight I'm joined with my good friend, Minister Carol Crockett. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, Coach. And listen, you're offering a book and a T-shirt.
Yep, for
That's
twenty-four
like
ninety five.
what's that BOGO, huh? Buy one get one free.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
cannot not get that. But
Yep,
yeah,
yep.
absolutely. And I love you. I love the platform
Thank
because
you.
you are absolutely helping others. And when you said buy the book, read it for the weekend. But sometimes, Coach, we can read a book,
Yep,
your book in particular,
yep, yep.
and it can, some things you don't have to experience and go through life making the same mistake because
Right.
you're going to talk about it and you talk
Yep,
about it in the book. But there are some experiences that you may not ever have,
yep.
but you can experience it
Yes,
through the book.
correct.
So buy the book, buy the
Yep,
book.
yep.
It's worth buying.
I was telling another guy, a friend of mine, I interviewed, uh, and we were talking about the fact that experience is not the best teacher; it's learning from someone else's experience.
That's
Uh,
right.
you get to avoid the pitfalls. You don't have
Absolutely.
you don't have to do the pitfalls. And then what took me 20 years to learn, you can learn in a week.
Absolutely.
That's the
Absolutely.
power of deciding to learn from someone who has gone ahead of you. Ms.
Mhm.
Carol, thank you so much for believing in the platform. I thought about this as we were preparing this morning, and I said I have to give you a shout out. You supported me when we were a nonprofit organization. You
Mm.
supported me as a mother. You supported me as a friend. You supported me as a member. You supported me as a leader in children's ministry. You supported me, man, with my 5K walk. You supported me with my mission to the Bahamas. You've been hanging around Ricardo Miller and supporting me for a while. And so, ladies and gentlemen, when I say I'm the collective contribution of a lot of incredible people who have helped me to become who I am today, tonight, this lady right here has helped me to become who I am. And I love you and I appreciate you. You're amazing. And how you commit to showing up and doing life your way in this season, you're a rock star in my book. And so thank you.
You are so welcome. And it's been a joy just watching you just escalate to the next level. And I absolutely love following you because, some people think because you're older, you cannot learn from someone younger, but I don't see you like that. I see so much wisdom. But
Thank you.
the greatest part is your heart to even share with others is just, just huge to me because in this platform and being connected to you, I know you care about Miss Carol
Yes, ma'am.
getting better.
Yes.
And I see that all the time in you. So I'm grateful, to be on this journey with you because we're in this together. And
Amen.
so I'm so grateful.
Amen. And I love that. That's a good segue for our talk. We're in this together. Our good friend Billy K. Johnson coined the statement that helped us to catapult a year or two out, and that was the journey is better with friends.
So much
And
better.
yeah, and we're in this together tonight. I want us to talk about something that's going to really be an interesting one for a lot of people, and that is how to be miserable. Now, somebody's, I don't need to listen to a talk on how to be miserable. Well, here's the deal. Some people, Miss Carol, they're
Mhm.
miserable and they don't know it.
Exactly.
And what I mean by that is they're in denial. They're in
Mm.
denial. And what I want you to look at, ladies and gentlemen, as we talk tonight, if you are practicing the behaviors that we're highlighting that are indicators on how to be miserable, chances are you miserable and don't even know it. And what you want to do is you want to take control of your life. That's what effective living is. Effective living is taking control of your life. It's choosing to make the decision to not be a rock, to not be
Mm.
stuck, declaring that you can change. I can change, I will change, and I'm going to chip my way to another season beyond where I am today. What's your whole view on the concept of changing and not having to commit to staying miserable?
And you know what, Coach? Just like you said, if you're not a rock,
Yep.
then you can change. And listen, if you are alive today, breathing,
Yep. Yep.
then you still have an opportunity to change. And so I saw this quote and it says, if you're serious about changing your life, you'll find a way. And if not, you'll find an excuse.
Yep.
And so in effective living, we are really about not looking for the excuses,
Yep.
but we're looking to improve ourselves. And it's a daily commitment. And your favorite statement to me is, we just gotta chip away. And listen, if and you, like you say, you can be miserable and not know you're miserable. It's a lot of things that we have done for years and not recognize how it's defeating our purpose and who we can be.
Yeah, yeah, and it is that it is with that you have to then decide to unlearn what you have become accustomed to. Yeah,
Yes.
you
Old
have
mindsets, old ways of
to,
thinking.
yeah,
Hey, they can go as far back as you being a kid, mom and them, and all of those things.
yeah,
But we've got to be realistic
yeah,
when we recognize that these are things that are keeping us miserable, unhealthy,
yeah,
not in our purpose. But we have to recognize where we are, and then sometimes we got to go back and look to see where that formulated
yeah,
and be willing to change without, and we're going to talk about that,
yeah,
without putting blame on
yeah.
anybody.
Correct. Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't want to blame anybody. I just want to get better.
Yes. Woo. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're watching tonight, I'm joined with Minister Carol Crockett. It's all about how to be miserable. Now, if you're committed to not being miserable, I want you to write this in the comment section. It's all about getting better then. I want to get better, but I have to realize that there are miserable practices. There are behaviors that are inclined to being a miserable person. Listen, guys, there's a right way and a wrong way to live. The Bible says the truth will set you free. So
Yes.
when we highlight points, and if you say, I'm doing this, I'm doing this, I'm doing this, I'm doing this, then you have some work to do. So don't
Right.
go nowhere. Okay, don't go anywhere. And Miss Carol, if you can remind me at the end, I'll do a surprise announcement. And so, guys, you got to be here for the surprise announcement. You don't want to miss it. I may be giving away something.
Wow.
But you got to be here. You got to be here at the end. Okay,
Fully engaged, right? You want to
fully
fully
engaged.
engage.
Fully engaged. Yes. So it's all about becoming better. Let's talk about these points on
Okay.
how to be miserable. I wrote down, Miss Carol, I want to hear your view on it. Number one, eat junk or slash garbage. Basically, eat unhealthy. Unhealthy eating over time makes you feel miserable. I mean, like initially, You may say, "Oh my God, I enjoyed that French fry. Oh, I enjoyed those 3 burgers. Oh my!" But then after a while, you find yourself like, "Oh, what happened?" And food. Watch this, ladies and gentlemen. Food is supposed to energize you. Food is not supposed to shut you down.
Right, right.
Food is supposed
That's
to energize you. And if you're eating and you're finding that the eating is moving you in the wrong direction, that's a miserable practice. That's an unhealthy practice. So my first point is that you are aligned with miserable behaviors and unhealthy behaviors when you're not taking care of what's going in your body. What's your view on junk food and garbage, unhealthy food?
well, Coach. The old adage is garbage in, garbage out, junk
Yeah,
in, junk out.
yeah,
So you have to be very, very careful, and you have to be sensitive to the things that you're putting in, because, like you say, food is supposed to be for energy.
yeah,
But if we're putting in things that have no nutritional value for us at all,
yeah,
then that's the junk that we're putting in. And we have to be careful, not only about the nutritional value, but I call them the 3 deadly S's:
Oh, come on.
saturated fats,
Uh-huh. Yep.
sodium, and sugar.
Ooh.
Those things are new, that we need those things,
Yep.
but you have to be very, very careful, because the trans fat, those are some of the worst fats that we can have.
Yep.
So salt, you
Yep.
know, we as Black people, we suffer with high blood pressure. But when you have added salt is supposed to be for preserving, and
Yep.
salt is supposed to be to help with move things to our bodies. But we can overindulge in
Yep.
many things. It
Wow.
could be good to us, but it does not necessarily have to be good for us. So
Wow.
we have to watch those nutritional things. And I'm learning this, Coach. Read the labels on your
Mm.
food,
Yeah.
because that's great information that
Yeah.
we can have that can help us make a decision. But in the end, that decision to put junk in our body is
Yeah.
leading us to have a miserable life, because
Yeah.
it's going to lead to your health is on the line.
Yeah.
You're going
Yeah.
to end up being sick,
Yeah.
over a long period of time, because it looks like it's so good at that
Yeah.
moment.
Yeah. Yeah.
Over a long period of time, what is it doing to tear down your body, tear down, things inside of you, and not beneficial to you?
Wow.
This is Our body is the temple, right?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
So we want this temple to remain healthy, because if this body is no good, Coach, we're not any good for anyone else.
So true. And that's why I wanted us to talk about this as the first point. In addition, I want to highlight that Apostle Paul says, all things are permissible to me, but not all
Right.
things are beneficial. I can
Right.
eat whatever I want. Well, watch this, Miss Carol. I'm 47. I like to throw that around. I'm 47. I can eat whatever I want. But the truth is, all things are permissible to me, but not all things are beneficial. And he said,
Right.
I will not be mastered or controlled by anything. And my wife and I, we were at the movies with our daughter, and we bought popcorn. Now, one of the things is, you got to understand, popcorn does nothing for you.
Absolutely nothing.
Popcorn does nothing for you. But guess what? We have been so conditioned to go to the movies. Oh man, you got to get yourself a bag of popcorn, right? You got to, and think about the size of the bag of popcorn that you put in your stomach, in your gut, and now it has no nutritional value. Popcorn has no value to it. But here's the deal: we bought the popcorn. I love me some popcorn. I was eating that small. Okay, I don't do it overindulging, but I ate some popcorn. But here's what I had to tell myself: stop. When I felt tempted to go back and get the salt thing and shake it, because I was about to. And let me tell you something. I came from where we talk about it ain't popcorn no more. It's salt corn. It's just salt corn. One, the popcorn is not good for you, but now you're adding all that salt on it, and you're just taking that in. And then here's the deal. They, for the size popcorn you get, they sell you a big bottle of Coke soda. Right? So now Coke soda is not good for you. I mean, can you think about it, ladies and gentlemen? Think about it. If you're doing popcorn like that, oh my God, twice a month, 3 times a month, not included the different things that can be off. So you just got to decide.
You have to decide.
Monitoring.
It's moderation.
It is moderation. And I'm not telling you not to enjoy yourself. I believe everything in moderation, but here's the deal. we have been over commercialized and
Mm-hmm.
inundated with the push of these things that we don't know when something becomes extreme to
Mm-hmm.
unhealthy, that sometimes it's best to stay away from some things entirely,
Right.
because they've become so good, Miss Carol. I remember watching, I love me a good series or episode. I love marathons. Law and Order marathon. Oh my Lord. I found myself late to a few meetings watching Law and Order marathon. And here's the deal. Here's the deal. I've watched the one before that I still got late for, because some people, they make these things, they built them for the draw in. And so
Mm-hmm.
Oreo cookies is one of those things for me. I can sit down right here and just keep popping those Oreo cookies in. And before you know it, I eat 3 rolls, Miss Carol, 3 rolls of 12. Okay? And I'm thinking, and then I get up and I'm like, oh, I don't feel good. Right? Of course
Right.
you
Right.
feel good. You're miserable. And
We
then
do.
you go to the doctor and they say, hold on, and this. And so you get my point.
Yes, absolutely. And don't forget, when you get to the movies, you put all that butter in there. You know, you're just clogging up your arteries, your cholesterol,
Yeah.
all those things. But like you say, we've been conditioned to think, you know, if there's a certain ambiance, that
Yeah.
there's something that goes
Most
along
of
with
that.
it,
Yeah.
you know, most of the time. And then, like you said, that binge watching TV,
Yep.
that's
Yep.
probably one of the most unproductive activities that we can do, is to
Correct.
continue to stay, you know, watching, like you say, you know, you've seen it over
Yep.
and over and over
Over.
again, but
Yep.
that it draws us into that, and
Yep.
that, you know, we're not doing anything in the present. We're just
Yep.
sitting there. So, mhm.
And so when we talk about the chip away, ladies and gentlemen, it's chipping away of choosing. I try my best, Miss Carol. I'm not telling you guys I'm a master of this stuff. I try my
Right.
best. One of the things I don't do is I don't buy anything by the register whenever I go in the store.
Oh, that's a daring.
They said everything around the register has been
Mhm.
strategically put there. And ain't none of it's good for you. There's nothing. Go to the store, go to the gas station, go to a Walmart, go anything right at the register. They strategically put that, and it's marked up higher,
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
it's just not good for you. So I chose not to. Oh, let me just pull a quick soda out of there, or ice
Mhm.
cream, or the magazine, the gossip columns. I like nothing around the. That's number one. Another thing I've made a commitment to try not to do
Mhm.
is that I don't buy soda. I won't go in the store and
Mhm.
buy me a can of soda. Now,
Mhm.
if I'm somewhere and it's only soda,
Mhm.
I don't have something against soda in that.
Mhm.
Like I'm not I'm not an evangelist declaring no one drinks soda, no one drinks
Mhm.
soda.
Mhm.
No, that's not what I'm doing. I'm just trying
Right.
to stay away. So
Right.
given a week, if you look in a 7-day week period, I probably didn't drink any soda.
Mhm.
I probably
Mhm.
didn't drink any soda. Within a month, maybe 2 or 3 cans. And I'm
Mhm.
trying to pull back to where I have a lady I met years ago, Dr. Mary Ruth Swope. She at the time she had claimed she hadn't drank soda for like in 30 years. She stopped. She realized how damaging. She was a nutritionist too.
Mhm.
She realized, hey, this is not good for me, and she stopped. And I've been
Right.
on a mission to try to get closer to saying, you know what, I don't drink soda. I don't
Mhm.
do this. I love Snickers. Oh, I have M&M. Those M&M coming, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I like me a good muffin. I can eat me some donuts, but I've been pulling back, and it's been feeling great.
Mhm. Mhm. And you know, when you think about, I that was one of my things I gave up during the fast, is sodas, and because it's so, and I don't personally, I don't like water, and so
Okay.
I have to find ways to make myself drink water. I can drink more in the summer, but in the wintertime, it's a challenge for me.
Mhm.
But you know, and I would pop a soda and not have any water at all. And then, but I think about how that's messing up my kidneys and
Yeah,
stuff,
yeah, yeah,
because you're drinking that. And like you say, you're not going to say you're not going to ever do it. But right now, you
yeah,
have what we're talking about, making decisions. That's what we're talking about.
yeah.
That's going to keep us from having a miserable life. And so, having those sodas, or choosing, you know, it's a choice.
Choice.
Choose when you're going to have it, but don't make it a habit that you're taking it over water. For me, water, I'm trying to make water my beverage of choice.
Right.
And so, but that takes work, Coach. That
Yep.
just takes work. Like you're talking about the cookies. You know, I love me some Cheetos and Fritos. I love those. But I'm not gonna say I'm not gonna ever eat them, but I know I can't buy the big bag. So if I go to the store, I buy those little bitty ones at the dollar store too for $1.25 because I can manage that.
Yes,
But
yes.
the big bag, you know, you just keep digging and digging, and all of a sudden you like it's none left, and you feel now you're feeling miserable. Now you're feeling bad because you know that's not what you need. So now you got, you know, your mind is messed up because you've done something against your body that you know you really told yourself you weren't going to do.
So good. We're helping people tonight. Listen, if you're watching for the first time, subscribe to my channel, man. Give me some help. I've decided that I'm going to make this announcement at the end, but I've decided, listen, Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, we do these live talks. I have guests coming on Fridays. I have guests coming on Wednesdays. And I love the fact that you guys are committing to do life this way, what we call effective living. You're not going to do life right if you're not taking care of your health. And that's what the number one was, junk food. Let's go to number 2, Miss Carol. What is number 2 and your position on number 2? Present that one.
Well, a lack of integrity. I'm glad we're looking at the reverse of these things because we know what integrity is. But when a person who lacks integrity will make decisions based on how it will make them look rather than how it will benefit others. And so we, you know, when we're talking about that integrity, it's, you know, we have to make a decision. You know, how honest are you?
Wow.
You know, sometimes integrity, when you lack integrity, that's that line that you cannot tell the difference between what's really honest and what's dishonest. It's that thin line. So you don't, you know, it's in the gray area. But if you got integrity, you know exactly. And then this is one, you have no accountability and you take no responsibility when you lack integrity. You know, I don't have to be accountable for anything. I just do what I want to do. I have no appreciation for no appreciation for anyone else. You just are so it's like a self-interest that's not healthy.
Yes. I totally agree with you. I believe also that people with integrity have standards. They have codes of ethics. And it's, you know, and like you said, someone who lacks integrity, you can't trust them. Their words don't mean anything. Words don't mean anything, and it needs to be brought to the table. You're going to have a miserable life if you don't have integrity. Someone asked me the other day. They said, "Hey man, can I borrow $500 from you?" No, they said, "Can I borrow $500 until I get on my feet?" I said, "I haven't met you on your feet ever."
Your track record is not good, huh?
Your track record ain't good, man. Your track record ain't good. I don't know you having been on your feet. And I've known you a while. You have no integrity. Your track record is horrible. You know? And here's the deal. A lot of people don't realize it, but what you say matters. What you do matters. And they're all based in integrity. You don't say what you don't mean. You do what you say you are going to do, or don't say it. The Bible said, be slow to speak. You know, don't be so quick to make an agreement. I love the whole idea of I'll get back to you. Even though some people may be frustrated, watch this. I'm gonna play this tonight, ladies and gentlemen. If you hang around effective living for a while, you know I've thrown my age out there. So when I'm 67, I'll be like, boy, I remember when I was saying that a lot. But I'm 47, and I now know that I could say, let me get back to you. I now know that I need not be so quick to agree, only to have the backtrack. And I don't have to backtrack so much if I make sure that what I wanted to do, I made sure I thought it through first so that I don't have to apologize. Because I think that whole element of not having integrity brings you in a sorry place where you're now feeling bad and or nobody wants to help me, and
Mhm.
they could help me, but they don't help me. Oh, I have I have siblings who won't help me, and I have people who I went to school with, they won't help me. I have people that go to church and they won't help me.
Mhm.
What is your reputation? I want to ask.
Exactly.
Why is it that nobody will help you? Do you have
Yeah.
integrity? Does your word mean anything? How have
Mhm.
you been? Well, you understand. You don't understand. I've been having it rough. I've been having it rough for a while. Even the person having the roughest can still have integrity.
Can absolutely,
You can still
absolutely.
have. You can still. Let me tell you. So on your worst day, you can still have
Mhm.
integrity. Okay. I mean, life could be falling down. At the end of the day, integrity resonates within the heart of a person who lives integral. But
Mhm.
but but for
Mhm.
somebody who don't have integrity, you don't get it when crisis emerge. If you never had it, it won't show up at any
It
point.
will. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, mhm. And coach, you just like you said, our reputation goes before us,
Yes.
and if your reputation is you cannot be trusted,
Yep.
your words, your words are just thrown out there and you don't follow up with anything.
Yep.
And let me just throw another one in here about you don't value anybody's time.
Wow. Yep. Yep.
Time,
Yep. Yep.
when I show up, you better be glad I showed up. That is poor integrity,
It is.
and
It is
no value for anyone
other
else. It's
people.
like you're so into
Yep.
yourself.
Yep.
But like you said, if you have a reputation, even on, I mean, a integrity, even on your worst day and the
Hey.
worst, that's not that people will look at that and say, oh, that's not who she is. She's going through something. This
Something.
is not her character,
Yes.
And so
Yes.
people are more willing to help you
Yep.
when you have integrity,
Yep.
and integrity also puts you in a place that you don't forget about those people that helped you as well.
Yep. So good. So good. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight we're talking about how to be miserable. Nobody wants to claim that they're miserable, but if you have lack of integrity, you're going to be miserable because guess what?
Yes.
Help won't come to your aid when help is needed because your reputation doesn't speak to the fact that they can come help you with a good conscience because you got a bad reputation, man. Or you've been living life so loosely and
Oh
now
yeah.
it's starting to come back and bite you because you haven't been taking care of what I call it's your vehicle to fulfilling
Mhm.
your life's assignment, your
Mhm.
body. Watch what you put in it. So number one, we said you're gonna be miserable if you just it's just eating junk and garbage. Miss Carol just mentioned the old adage: garbage in, garbage out. And then the next one is integrity. What is your behavior saying about you?
Mhm.
How can you be depended upon?
Mhm.
I like this one, Miss Carol. I'm moving towards this one in this next season where I'm trying to do better with managing myself within time because there's no such thing as managing time. Time goes no
Mhm.
matter what.
Right.
But what we do is we manage ourselves and we
Mhm.
honor time. And so I'm really looking at that and saying, okay, Ricardo, I want to get more out of my 24 hours. I want to get
Mhm.
more of my 168 hours within a week. I want to get
Mhm.
more. And so how responsible am I? Hey, how is integrity working with me for me? Ooh,
Mhm. That's
yeah.
good. That is so good.
Let's go to number three. Number three. Oh man.
Oh, oh yeah.
What's your number three?
You don't work out. You're
Yeah.
asking to have a miserable, unhealthy life,
Yeah.
mindset. All of those go together because
Yeah.
work, we all need to exercise, coach.
Yeah. Yeah.
Being physically active can improve your brain health,
Yeah.
help manage your weight, reduce risk of disease, strengthen bones and
Yeah.
muscles,
Yeah.
and improve your ability to do everyday life. Because if you don't use things, they won't be helpful to you.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and it's so many ways. This is what I'm finding, and I love our morning because it reminds me, get up, get to moving.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Yeah.
sometimes, we need that little push because there's so many days I can say, oh, not today, but there you are talking about, things that the
Get
effective
up.
living. Get
Yeah.
up
Yeah.
and go. I was in the gym. I look on the thing and I see you in the gym. I was like, let me get up.
Yeah.
But coach, once you go and start working out, it simply changes
Yeah.
your mindset. I mean, I always say it helps my brain breathe a little bit better
Yeah.
and everything, because it's just so it's helpful and it's healthy for us.
Yeah.
And so when we find excuses not to go, you're asking for a miserable life. Because, Coach, think about how many ways
Yeah.
we can find a way to work out. You know,
Yeah.
I'm a senior citizen, and I've got silver sneakers. I can join any gym, but what I do like about it, during the pandemic, they start putting it on demand. You can exercise on demand. You can
Nice.
sit in a chair, you know,
Yeah.
but you
Yeah.
are moving and breathing and keeping your body active. So if you want to be miserable in your mind, in your health, don't work out. That you're asking for a miserable life if you choose not to exercise.
It'll come back and bite you, ladies and gentlemen. And here's the deal: somebody, I don't have time to work out. Oh, you can't afford not to work
You
out.
can't afford not
Yeah,
to.
and I'm learning, and I'm feeling it, man. I'm about to be 48 in October, and I'm like, guess what? Ricardo started running. I was watching Creed 3 at the movies the other night, and I said, oh man, I saw those guys running, pulling stuff. I'm like, oh man, I'm gonna go start working out. I'm gonna work out. Here's the deal, ladies and gentlemen. We have an exclusive group coaching community where every morning, Monday through Friday, we're teaching, we're diving into practical principles on how to best take control of our lives. If you're moving towards having more of a miserable life, oh, this week's teaching is the teaching for you. We started this morning, Monday through Friday. This week, we're going to be talking about this, how to become the CEO of your life. The question is, how are you doing with you? I mean, and all of these, what we're talking about is a part of what you are responsible for managing. Let's go to the next one. You watch this, don't have values. Let's talk about that. That whole concept of not having values. Somebody realizes your life is not well because you have not established what you value.
Absolutely. You got to have value. And listen, values guides our thoughts, it guides our words, it guides our action. And so that simply means we have to have regards for something, to
Yeah.
appreciate something. You give it you give it importance, and you put it on a high level. Just like we're talking now, if you don't value who you are, you don't value your health, your integrity, all of these are ways that you will have a miserable life. So value, it helps us make decisions, and it helps us to know how to behave, Coach.
Yeah.
It helps us to know how to behave. So we've got to have things that we value. It's, you just talked about your time.
Yeah.
You managing your time. That's value, putting value on your time. And I love to think putting value on other people's time,
Right.
And
Yes.
so, and I know you're probably talking about this. We don't value money.
Yes.
Because if we don't have a plan for our money,
Yeah.
we're not valuing that money.
Yeah. And the crazy thing about it is, you there. I heard people, I don't have enough time. No, you just not managing your time. You don't value time. I don't have enough money. You just don't value money. Oh, I don't have enough friends. You just don't value people. There is no shortage of people. There is no shortage of time. There is no shortage of money. But what you value will show up in your life. What we value, sometimes we value a sitcom. Sometimes we value, an event on the weekend. Sometimes we value, you know what I mean? It's just things that really doesn't matter. But what is it that you really value? Let's go to our next one. This one right here, a lot of people would find it interesting, but I had to put it on there because I'm learning that it is very important. And that is number 5, deprive yourself of sleep. You're miserable when you're not sleeping, and you got to find ways to sleep. You gotta make yourself naps. I did a study a few years ago, Miss Carol. I think it was during the pandemic. A lot of research on sleep, where you can look into your sheets, your pillows, your mattresses, and then they tell you the 8-hour sleep cycle thing is not necessarily real. They actually tell you need to study you to identify what your sleep pattern. So they call it your sleep numbers. You need to know what helps you. Some people can get nap time, what they call power naps within the day. And
Right.
then there are others who, I've learned that the best sleep pattern is actually from like when sunset to about midnight. But then in the morning, your body is not resting as much on the later end. Your body
Mm.
rests all more on the front end. I mean,
Mhm.
stuff like that. People aren't doing the work to find out how can I sleep better. What's your view on sleep?
Absolutely. And like you were saying, you got to find your sleep pattern. Now, my pattern is since we've changed the time, I'm a little bit better not
Oh,
falling asleep as early.
yep,
But I may wake up.
yep,
If I go to sleep about 5:30 or 6:30 or like 7, I'm almost out. I have to put an alarm on to wake me up 8 o'clock
yeah,
church. But anyway,
yeah, yeah,
but I sleep like that, but
yeah.
I may wake up at 1 or 2 o'clock in the
Oh,
morning and
right.
I'm fully ready to
Already.
go,
Yep, yep,
And so you got to find your sleep
um,
habit and your
yep,
pattern, because if you deprive yourself of sleep, you're going to be fatigued most of the day,
yep.
moody and irritable,
Well, yep,
that when you
yep,
don't have good sleep.
yep.
And then I saw this time it reduces your hand and eye coordination when
Wow.
you don't have enough sleep. I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
But this quote says, happiness consists of us getting enough sleep. That makes us not be miserable,
Yeah.
but that makes us, we can be a happier person when we are getting enough sleep. So then I
Woo.
read this, no civilized person goes to bed the same day he gets up. Think about that. You don't go to bed the same day you're getting up because you miss sleep. So
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty funny. Yeah.
That was good. That's good. Let's go on to our next one. Number 6.
Okay.
Ah, man, number 6 is a strong one. You're a miserable person. You know you're
Mhm.
functioning in this miserable space. If you hate on people you don't know. Oh my.
Mm.
You hate on people you don't know. I've been surprised the amount of people that I hear. They're even righteous indignation. I'm talking about
Mhm.
level of anger. I'm like, you don't even know him. You don't
Mhm.
even know her. Oh my goodness, I saw an interview and I can't stand her. I just can't stand him. Or let's just talk about somebody you're like, oh, you saw them in the same meeting, you never had lunch with them, you've never done a social with them, but then you're like, you know what, I can't stand that person. I don't even ever talk to them. Well,
Mm.
you've not done the work to even figure out who they are. And we've all seen this over time where
Mhm.
someone misjudged you and then they're like, I thought you were so much of a jerk. I
Right.
thought you were
Mhm.
so evil. I hated you when I first saw you. You didn't even know me.
Mhm. Mhm.
And
Amazing.
it limits you from living life to the fullest. So there are
Mhm.
some people who aren't doing well in life is because they have actually and they have established the term hate, and hate is a strong word.
That's a very strong word. Mhm.
It's like totally that I dislike, don't enjoy this person. I prefer not to deal with them. And here's the deal: if you were to like put down whatever that indifferences are, you'll be amazed how much you can find that it was just probably difference. It was personalities. It was just culture. It was so
Right.
many
Mhm.
things that separate us from. But hating
Mhm.
on somebody can actually hold you back from enjoying life to the fullest.
Make you have a miserable life. And
Yeah,
I wrote this. It says, in order to feel good about themselves, people indulge in irrational hatred. Sometimes that's that inward thing that, you like to say, you haven't done anything to them, but sometimes people take on that kind of behavior simply because we talk about this all the time, so much inward things going on
yeah,
inside of you, unresolved issues of your own
yeah,
will
yeah.
make you dislike people and
People,
make a judgmental call. You don't like them because her eye turns up one way and mine turns down. Come on, people.
uh-huh.
But like you said, you're miserable because you don't really know the person. Just think how much
Yeah,
value
yeah,
that person could possibly bring to your life
yeah,
if you made a decision to get to know that person.
yeah.
Crazy.
I believe that there are some really good people in the world. I really believe that there are more good people than there are bad people in the world.
Mm-hmm.
With over 8 billion people on the planet, oh my Lord, we all should have a very rich network of people we're doing life with. And so to hate people,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, as a matter of fact, hate affects your heart. And I think
Mm-hmm.
the Bible says, guard your heart with all diligence. So be careful about hating because it'll set you on track for a miserable life. Let's go to the next one.
Okay. Number 7, live a life trying to impress others. That's a miserable life, Coach.
Yeah.
Trying to impress others and comparing yourself.
Yeah.
Now, you had to teach me that one.
Yeah.
Comparing yourself to others make you become a miserable person. Will Smith wrote this. Too many people spend money they haven't earned to buy things they don't want to impress people they don't like.
Wow.
And that's kind of what we do, trying to impress people, whether it's with buying things or looking at look at Ricardo, he talks like this and I can't, or it's really that crazy mindset. But we get to the place that we want to impress others so we can feel good for a different deep reason. It's like you said, it's to make yourself look better. Or sometimes people do that to try to impress others because they want to make that other person feel bad.
Right. I'm at a space in my life now. I'm actually like, okay, how do I feel about this? How do I feel about this? And then making sure that my decisions are not external. I think that there are too many people who make their decision external. It's all about what other people think. And a lot of people aren't happy. A lot of people are miserable because you bought the car thinking they would cheer you on, but they'll never cheer you on because they think you didn't deserve the car. But now you got the car, and now you're more miserable because you thought the car would make you popular and make you liked, and they would have cheered you on. You thought you bought the house. You thought if you started the business, you thought people would respect you, and now you're mad, miserable, and frustrated because it didn't. And the truth is, any form of progress needs to be progress that you decided to come to the conclusion of acquiring within. It's you going for the goal because God pushed you for the goal. If nobody cheers you on, but God looks down and smiles at you and says, well done, guess what, ladies and gentlemen? Well done.
I love this scripture because it says, we are beautiful and wonderfully made in him. So we have to know, Coach, who we are and know, and appreciate, when we think about it, if I look at myself and I say that I'm not beautiful and wonderfully made, I'm telling the Creator he made a mistake.
Correct.
I'm telling the Creator.
Which it had to come from contaminants because the Creator would have never made something that the Creator would want. So somewhere along the line, I picked up these beliefs about myself that was not Creator-centric. It wasn't based on the idea of the Creator. It was something that culture, society, school, friends, and so forth may have drilled into my mind and influenced me to believe. And now I don't like me, and I'm trying to become more like them so they can like me if I'm more like them, but they don't like themselves either.
It's a vicious cycle, and until we make a decision to stop it, we have to decide that I'm going to stop somewhere, wherever I am. Like you said, if the master can say, well done, thy good and faithful servant, then I need to be okay with that. But I really need to make sure I'm in tune with what he wants me to do, because if he wants me to move up or move into a different space, then I need to be obedient and do that, because he's calling us for higher purposes. And so we need to make sure that we're doing everything that he asks us to do, because what I think Miles Monroe say, the worst place in the world, all the wisdom in the world is in the graveyard. Who wants to live a life that God has so much more for us? If we let things stagnate us or keep us from reaching those goals, because we want to look at trying to impress the external rather than the internal.
So good. Number eight, don't have goals or projects to work on. In other words, you got nothing in front of you that's allowing you to be focused and committed to. I was talking to a good friend in the Bahamas, and he's in a transitional season. I say, start a garden. Start growing your vegetables. I said, start build some furniture around the house. You have woodwork skills. something to pursue will increase your level of appreciation for days. What's your view?
Absolutely. If you have nothing to work toward, it's just like, well, I mean, it's almost like you just dead
Yeah,
because
right.
you're not living. And
Yeah,
so each day we need to have, as you say, that checklist, but
yeah,
it ought to be long-term and short-term goals that we
right.
want to get to. And
Yeah,
so you have to, you have to be willing to set those goals, and then they have to be clear goals
yeah,
that
yeah.
you want to accomplish. They got to be about you,
Yes, yeah,
and not because you're looking, like you say, to impress somebody else.
yeah,
But we want to make sure that we're being successful. So a life without goal, there is just no motivation. We don't have any ability to want to do anything. And who wants to live a life getting up every day, doing the same old thing, no aspirations to do anything further? And you will find yourself, now to me, coach, that's a miserable person. And you know what a person without goals will do? They will live in the past, because
yeah,
that's all they have.
yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
we don't live in the past.
Hey, I've been getting in trouble when people hear me say that. They're like, that's a pretty interesting statement, Ricardo. I don't know if I agree with you with this statement, but I'm going to go ahead and say it because I found that people who aren't living forward, as you mentioned just now, they're living on the past, and this has become this is their statement of truth. The good old days.
Ooh, I
Good
hate that statement.
old. See, when the truth is, you could still be creating days. The mere fact that you have the ability to recall days still speaks that you have the potential to create a day.
Exactly.
And so every day I'm making memories. You talked about some good friends we mutually have, the Neds, and I was thinking we hung out. Karen and I hung out with them the other day, just making memories, because the good old days for me wasn't last year. The good old, I was looking at me and RJ having breakfast. It's not the good old days when he was playing basketball. It wasn't the good old day. I'm learning how to make every day the good old days. Not having to be the statement that I'm holding on to, but my life is, watch this, one that I'm creating a life I don't need a vacation from. And so every day is a good day.
Make memories in the present, because that's what we need to do. Make memories for the present, because if you're looking in the back, looking behind you, those are old, and you're looking too far forward, you're living in the future. Make memories for the very present day.
Write that in the comment section for me, ladies and gentlemen. Write that. Make memories for the present. That's a word for somebody. That's a word for me. That's what it's all about right now. Make memories for the present. Let's go to number 9. We're almost done, guys.
We're almost done. And listen, blaming your problems and emotions on. You ready for that one, aren't you, Coach?
I am ready for that one.
All right. Well, you want to go ahead and start? Because I got plenty to talk about that blame game.
The blame game imprisons you from living life to the fullest, and that's what makes it that miserable position. I know people who they won't be free because the blame is keeping them in prison. And so if you're playing the blame game, and your emotions is all connected to others, you're going to have a sad life. Now, when we talk about effective living, you have to understand that effective living is you taking personal responsibility for your life. It's you taking personal responsibility for your life. At some point, you got to stop blaming the government. At some point, you got to stop blaming your parents. At some point, you got to stop blaming your kids. At some point, you got to just understand. Every day, I get the choice. I have a wife, but I choose to get up and live life still for me. Okay? If she don't want to live life, I'm still gonna live life. If my son don't want to live life, I'm still gonna live life. If my mama don't want to live life, I'm still gonna live life. At the end of the day, I'm not gonna blame anybody. And people who are miserable, check it out. They blame.
It keeps us in a place where we are not able to accomplish or achieve any desired outcome. It makes us powerless. It stunts our growth.
Wow.
It puts us in a place where we refuse responsibility and for the problems that we've even created. But blame is so easy for us to do because it makes us feel like we it puts up this defense mechanism. But also when we blame others, you would think that it would not put us in a place of guilt, but it does help us escape the guilt. But in the long run, it comes back around, coach, and you will begin to live in regret because you blame your problems. You know, like you said, we're here to take full responsibility for our life. And part of that is I have to look to see where I've created the problem.
Yeah.
I need to look to see what I can do to change the situation. You know, I believe this. You know, when we've done something wrong, we got to repent, but we don't have to stay in that place. We repent honestly and sincerely so we can move on and not stay stunted and not stay in that same place where we are imprisoning ourselves with the things that we've gone through.
Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, we're down to our last point, Miss Carol.
All
Bring
right.
home the last one. Bring home the last one.
Listen, if you choose that, if you want to live a miserable life, and I could talk on this forever, but I'm not. But if you want to have a miserable life, the worst life we can live is to try to live without God in your life. And guess what, coach? Man cannot live without God, but man can have a mortal existence without acknowledging God. You can't live without him, because if you're breathing, you got up this morning, you talking, you walking, you cannot live without God because he is the creator of everything. So you can choose to not acknowledge him, but not without the fact that God is in your life. So if you choose to not acknowledge him, you're choosing to not exist with God in your life. That is on you. And I love it. In Ecclesiastes, it said, life without God is meaningless, hollow, and fruitless if it isn't rightly related to God. So life without God has no purpose. You have no hope. Man's worth comes only from God. That is the only worth we have if we have it from God. So we can make a decision and not acknowledge him. But my Bible says, coach, at the end of time, every knee will bow. And every tongue will confess that he is Lord. So you can make a decision to live miserably and not acknowledge who God is, but he still know your name.
Ladies and gentlemen, tonight we wanted to provide you with some thought-provoking ideas that will help you to understand you don't have to live a miserable life. Okay? You don't have to miserable. You have the choice. You have choices that you can make every day that moves you towards an intentional lifestyle that actually allows you to start liking where you are. Okay? But that's going to demand that you make some changes. I call it becoming the CEO of your life. Becoming the CEO of your life. I want you to know you need to draw up a plan. Draw up a plan to where you can learn to enjoy life. For those of you that are in the Texas state area, listen, guys, we're leaving Galveston this October and we're going to the Bahamas. We're going on a cruise. Come on and join me and my friends in the Bahamas. Now, here's the deal. You can come from anywhere in the United States. Join us in Galveston. We're going to the Bahamas. We're going to have a great time. Then there are some of you guys, you need to take the time and read this book. If you haven't read it before, read the book. Okay? Now, within our exclusive group coaching community in the mornings, we're going to be diving into this principle of how to become the CEO of your life. I promise you, the next few weeks and months, you're going to see things turning around favorably for you. So what we shared with you tonight was something for you to think about. Am I living a miserable life? Have I been honest with myself? Are there some areas in my life I need to make some changes? Hey, no blame. Just make some adjustments. We want to do life with you. I've coined the statement, it's lonely at the top only when you've chosen to do the journey by yourself. And so don't do the journey by yourself. Do life with us. Join the Effective Living community. I would love to see you in our morning sessions. Listen, at 6 a.m., Monday through Friday. Ms. Carol, what's your view on the morning session as we close out?
Wow, absolutely, coach. It is like my cup of tea or cup of coffee in the morning. It actually gets me started because I love the group, because there may be areas that I'm personally struggling with that I need a little push or whatever, but I can be inside that group and get information from you that encourages me, that uplifts me. And like you said, in the group, you're not doing it alone, and you'd be surprised of how many friends we have in the group. And I love it, Coach. It's not a judgmental zone. It's left up to you to
Yep.
make your life not be miserable. It's up to you to
Yep.
decide to chip
Yep.
away. I'm not in a race with
Come on.
anybody else. I'm in my lane and I'm running
Yeah.
my lane and I'm
Yeah.
chipping away day by day. And that's exactly what you would get if you come to our morning session. No judgment, just for you to think about things that are practical things that
Yeah.
sometimes we don't know about or
Yeah.
we haven't recognized. So we're miserable and
Yeah.
don't even know we're miserable. But in this group, you will find out how miserable you are.
And will be given the principles necessary to move yourself
To move
out.
forward.
Thank you, Minister Carol Crockett, for this great conversation. Listen, guys, every Monday night we're here at 7 p.m. And now my announcement, we're introducing Wednesdays and Fridays. Wednesdays and Fridays. So I'm needing you guys. Check us out, man. Here's the deal. The reason why the conversations are so consistent and I provide so many of them is because we're inundated with a lot of stuff. And you need reinforcement to keep you centered. Okay, because every little truth is helping you to move towards the place where you're trying to go. As Minister Carol just mentioned, it's the chipping away. So have a good night. Go ahead and write out, journal, write down what you perceive to be challenges that's in your life that could be leading you towards misery. You were not created to be living life miserable, going from crisis to crisis, frustration after frustration. That's not the will of God for your life. Okay? We're here to help you figure out the combination to the lock. I want to see you win. We want to see you win. So, Minister Carol, thank you so much. Have a good night. God bless you. Love and appreciate you so much.
All right. Thank you, Coach.
You're welcome.